Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is a History Police video where I'm reviewing a scene in Wolfall Season 1, and I think it's a very interesting scene because it's about Cromwell meeting with Catherine of Aragon and Princess Mary. And obviously, he's the man who's also destroying everything that they had. And in that scene, I think there's like some dynamics, power dynamics that are very good. The script is quite good as well. And obviously I still have a problem with how Thomas Cromwell is in that show portrayed. You know, I think he's a bit too kind of... The image is just too positive for me. It's not how I would really see him. But I think it's really well done. But let's dive into actually what is said in the portrayal of Princess Mary, Catherine of Aragon, in that particular scene. Let's do it.
Madam, your daughter should sit.
So here, Princess Mary is not feeling really well. We believe that it could be a woman disorder, woman problem. You see what I mean? And the response to of Catherine is kind of interesting in terms, and I'm going to discuss why it's interesting.
Stand up straight.
The stand up straight here can sound a bit harsh, but at the same time, you have to remember that they are facing what Catherine of Aragon would see as an enemy. And so I like here that she's like, stand up straight, be strong, my daughter. Because in this world, we no longer have so many friends. And this man here is not our friend. And unlike that, you know, we have this kind of, Mom, I'm not feeling well. Be strong, my daughter. We're not among friends. You know, like this shows here the strength, I think, of Catherine of Aragon and why she tried to give her daughter, like, this world we live in is not easy. And you have to face it. I do like this kind of very short line. And some people can say, oh, it's just a bit harsh. But here, sometimes to protect your kids, you have to be a bit harsh.
This is Master Cromwell. Used to be a Moneylender. Now he writes all the laws.
Okay, so here, like, she's like, he used to be a kind of a nobody, and now he writes all the laws. So you can see like the despise as well in her voice and in the way she's presenting him to her daughter.
I have heard all about your new bill, inducing the king to describe himself as the head of the church.
The Pope is the head of the church everywhere. The lawfulness of all government flows from the...
She's obviously not feeling well, but also do you see the importance here? Like, what you're doing is wrong. So he catches a chair to help her.
Will you not sit down, Princess Mary?
Calling her Princess Mary, still recognizing her title.
It's just the heat.
So here we have a glimpse of kind of kindness. It's just a heat. He brings her a chair. He seems very much benevolent while still destroying everything they had. I find this kind of portrayal very interesting because we're trying to kind of say, well, Cromwell is not the real monster here.
But I beg you, madam, to consider it in this way. The king has merely defined a position which ancient precedents...
Ancient precedents? Precedents that you've invented these last 3 months.
As for induced, your highness knows the king cannot be led.
But he can be enticed.
That is just so brilliant because you see that here Cromwell is trying to defend his law. He's trying to defend what the king is doing, but what ultimately he's doing as well. He really believed that the authority of the Pope should not apply to England. That is because for a few reasons. You can believe that it's for religious beliefs. I don't. I think it really comes down to power and being fully in control of what's going on in their country. But here also, it's like the king cannot be led. You know, like this idea that Henry VIII is the real master. He is. But the reply of Catherine of Aragon is so interesting because he can be enticed. And here she got a point.
He has ridden off without saying goodbye. He has never done that before. Never.
Well, I think he means to hunt out of Chertsey for a few days.
With the woman. The person.
Your Highness will be going to another palace. He has chosen the Moor in Hertfordshire, which, as you know, is very comfortable.
It was one of your cardinal's houses, wasn't it? So it's bound to be lavish.
So the scene is a bit problematic because we start with something very political. There's so much packed in this kind of 1 minute thing, and that's what I don't like as well. Is it's very hard for someone who doesn't know anything about Tudor history to kind of follow what's going on. But here they obviously want to show the human side of Catherine. Here she's hurt as the wife, not the queen. So before she's hurt as the queen for her religious beliefs as a Catholic, or what they're doing to the laws of the country. And then she changes completely topic and said he's never left without saying goodbye. And then she realized that she's cast off, and you see the pain, and you see the understanding that things are changing. And obviously the woman, the person, they talk about Princess Mary is talking about Anne Boleyn. And you see how hard it is for her to acknowledge that her father is obviously replacing them. And that's the thing here. I think that the thing that we tend to forget about Mary is that she probably felt replaced by this other woman as well, because she no longer had any importance in the eyes of her father. And that is why the relationship between Anne Boleyn, Catherine of Aragon, and Princess Mary is so bad and so chaotic and so can be so vile. Is because the way Henry VIII also played them against one another.
I expected this. But I didn't expect he would send a man like you to tell me.
So here, the last line, I expect that she expected that what it would happen, but she didn't expect a mind like you. Basically saying, I think that's what we can interpret, how we can interpret it. You're too low born to talk to a Spanish princess, Queen of England, royal blood. And in many ways she has a point, and it's where you see that Henry VIII is the one in control. And he's the one deciding when you're at the top or when you're at the bottom, regardless of where you come from. So overall, I think this is a very interesting scene. I think it depicts Catherine of Aragon as a strong mother, a dignified queen, but also you can see the pain and the hurt that she's going through, and how hard it was for her to accept the ways in which she was treated by Henry VIII, and in some respects by Cromwell. Overall, I think the portrayal of Princess Mary and of Catherine of Aragon in that scene are quite spot on. We have the fragility, the vulnerability of Princess Mary, which I think we have to remember when we look at Princess Mary as a whole, and Mary the First, her childhood, but mostly her teenage years and how they impacted her beliefs, but also the ways in which she saw power and how it's obviously going to impact her queenship later on. Let me know in the comments if you like this portrayal in that scene of Princess Mary and Queen Catherine of Aragon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!